Behind the high stone walls of Windsor Castle, an ancient ritual unfolds that feels less like modern Britain and more like a fever dream from the Middle Ages. For nearly 7 centuries, a secret elite has gathered in these exact shadow-drenched courtyards, bound by a sacred oath that supersedes ordinary law. They march in heavy velvet robes of midnight blue, their heads topped with towering white ostrich plumes, moving to the slow, hypnotic beat of a military drum. This isn't just a parade for the public. It is a display of raw, uninterrupted dynastic power that dates back to a time of crusades and absolute kings. To truly understand why the British monarchy still commands the global imagination, you have to look past the modern tabloid headlines and stare directly into the eyes of this living ghost. Welcome back to Royal Scope, where we pull back the velvet curtain to dissect the hidden architecture of the world's most powerful dynasties. The Order of the Garter is Britain's oldest and most senior order of chivalry, founded in 1348 by King Edward III during the heights of medieval warfare. Today, the world watched as King Charles III, Queen Camilla, and the Prince and Princess of Wales led this breathtaking procession towards St. George's Chapel. But beneath the blinding pageantry and the sea of flashing cameras lies a complex psychological game, a calculated reminder to the world that while political leaders come and go, the crown is permanent. There is a distinct, almost cinematic tension that fills the air at Windsor Castle during this specific event. The sheer weight of history is suffocating. As the Duke of Edinburgh and the Prince of Wales lead the royal party, their faces set in stoic masks of duty. They are flanked by Princess and the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, moving in perfect, synchronized harmony. This is a visual language that the House of Windsor has perfected over centuries, a display of total unity and unyielding strength designed to silence any whispers of vulnerability. Yet, what the cameras don't always capture is the profound shift in atmosphere when you witness this ritual in person. Having stood within those very castle grounds, amidst the heavy scent of old stone and the echo of polished boots, the sheer scale of the spectacle becomes overwhelming. The crowd doesn't just watch. They are pulled into an intoxicating loop of heritage and tradition, where modern anxieties meld away under the sheer force of royal theater. It is an exclusive world, but one that opens its gates just wide enough to keep the public spellbound. Access to these sacred grounds is governed by a highly competitive, randomized ballot system, ensuring that only a fortunate few get to breathe the same air as the processing monarchs. The energy in that crowd is electric, a unique subculture where strangers from overseas and every corner of the UK instantly become allies, united by a shared fascination with the surreal permanence of the monarchy. But as the procession moves deeper into the castle grounds towards the Gothic spires of St. George's Chapel, a deeper question begins to surface about the true survival mechanism of the royal family. How do they maintain this flawless illusion of perfection, especially in an era of relentless scrutiny? Before we look at the stunning, calculated fashion choices of the Princess of Wales and the Duchess of Edinburgh that stole the show today, I want to ask you, do you think these ancient, lavish rituals are still vital for keeping the monarchy relevant? Or are they becoming a relic of a bygone era? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to keep exploring the hidden depths of the palace, make sure to subscribe to Royal Scope right now. The visual climax of the day undoubtedly belonged to the royal women, who used their attire to send a powerful message of modern elegance blended with historical reverence. The Princess of Wales and the Duchess of Edinburgh stepped out in meticulously styled ensembles that instantly captured the gaze of the international press. Their wardrobe choices are never accidental. They are highly strategic, designed to project stability, grace, and an approachable form of majesty that balances the heavy, medieval robes of the knights. As the heavy oak doors of St. George's Chapel finally closed behind the royal party, concluding the sacred service, the procession wound its way back up the hill into the private quarters of Windsor Castle. The brilliant flashes of crimson, blue, and gold faded back into the ancient stone, leaving the gathered crowds in a state of quiet awe. It is a masterclass in public relations disguised as medieval chivalry. By anchoring their modern identity in a 700-year-old tradition, the royal family ensures that they remain completely untouchable, reminding the world that some empires never truly fade.
I thought I'd do a tiny bit more on the celebrations from Garter Day earlier today in Windsor. But first of all, it's these kind of events, royal events, that keep me so intrigued about the royal family. Because let's face it, if you had no idea who the royal family were, if you had no idea what was going on in this picture, you would think this was from medieval times. And although the most noble order of the Garter, the actual order of chivalry, was founded in 1348 by King Edward III, it has been able to modernise over the years. One massive change is the procession. So it used to be behind closed doors. It was only for exclusive kind of invitees. Now they're paraded, the royal family paraded through the streets of Windsor around Windsor Castle. You can see here is Prince Edward and obviously Prince William. There's going to be lots of thirstiness about Prince William. I can just tell because people love to see him all dolled up, all dressed up. People love a uniform. Here is Princess Anne, obviously all dressed up in her finery as well. The cloak, just to reference, the robe is called the mantle. But just to note, while we have Princess Anne here, women actually only became part of the march on the procession in 1937. Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, were introduced to the march. And it was in 1948 where King George VI kind of reinvented the whole thing about Garter Day. He modernised it, he reconstructed it, and it was also in celebration of its 600th year. He basically was able to change the layout, the timing, the choreography. He changed it from an April to a June date. So all these things changed. Here is obviously the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, also all dressed up. You can see the Tudor bonnets, that's what they call the hats, with the plume of white ostrich feathers. And I don't know if they're original, but they're certainly, what they used to wear back in the day as well. The members of the Order of the Garter include the Sovereign and the Prince of Wales, and then also 24 living members, but that doesn't include other members of the royal family and actually other members of royal families from around the world. So the 24 members, living members, are other people like, for instance, Andrew Lloyd Webber, who was there today walking alongside the royals. Anyway, here's some of the procession. You can see the Duke and Duchess in Gloucester, Princess Anne, you can see Prince Edward and the Prince of Wales. And here's obviously the moment where the Prince of Wales walks past the Princess of Wales. She smiles, very proud. And then the King and Queen come after them. Everyone curtsies. The Princess of Wales and Sophie just look so gorgeous. They just look amazing. After the church service in St George's Chapel in Windsor Castle, the royals all exit and get in their carriages and have a procession around Windsor Castle and the streets of Windsor. Here is the Prince and Princess of Wales. They got into their carriage and they are whisked away to a riot of applause. And also, FYI, you can apparently apply for in a ballot for tickets to be kind of alongside on the outskirts of the procession. You can see that there's obviously people waving and cheering. Here they are looking absolutely stunning, but also medieval at the same time. I would just love to go in one of these carriage rides with any of the royals, just to see what it's like to have a laugh at a joke. Here they are again, riding past. Then we have, obviously, the King and Queen waving. Maybe I'll go in with the King and Queen and see what it's like. We've got we've got Sophie, we've got Princess Anne, we've got her husband. Sophie is actually wearing a dress by Susanna London. It is a new dress. And then we have the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester.